Now that we've got a few of our accent pieces made, we're ready to start building the base of our card and adding a few of these things to it. I've trimmed my cardstock to 10 inches by 7 inches and I'm scoring it in the middle to make a 5 by 7 horizontal card. I'm going to use my new Kaleidoscope border ability that I have here to cut directly onto the border of the card. One of the borders cuts on only one edge. The other one cuts all the way around, but we're going to use the single edge border ability to make this border right on the card. What I'm doing here is I'm putting my magnetic cut mat inside of the card and I'm lining up where I want the border to go and placing it on the inside of the card also. It's a good idea to again tape it down with the removable tape. It's a little confusing to see here, but I'm actually starting with this card inside out, and now as I switch this over to emboss it, I'm going to be turning it right side out. So this will be the finished card this other way. I take out my magnetic mat, and I'm going to put the embossing pad over the top, which will be the real inside now, and close it over, and then emboss it. The method of cutting the borders with the card inside out and then embossing with the right sides out allows you to place any borders in here while only cutting and embossing the parts of the card you want. Might take a little practice. So here I've got my black ink again, and I'm inking, stenciling straight through the die. You can see the effect that gives. I'm going around here and I'm using the black ink again to give that same little bit of a grunge look to things, that rock star look again, and just gently applying the ink straight there. This is the double-edged border that I spoke about earlier. I'm just going to create a single green border for the inside here with the double-edged border, and it'll just kind of hang out of the edge. You'll be able to see that later, but I'm going to put this back in the die after I've embossed it here so that I can apply black ink to this also through the die and just stencil this in a really elegant way here with a little bit of a wetter ink than the clear snap I was using before, but that would work as well. See how crisp and clean that is. It's really nice. I've taken a piece of pink cardstock. This is a Whirlwind cardstock, and inked the edges again, and I'm going to place this 5 by 7 piece on the inside of my card and then line up this green so that it is, like I said, just peeking out of the edge here. At this point, I'm also going to add my black background onto the front so we can see how that's going to look also. It's just lots of layers give it this grungy sort of look that we're going for with this card. Kind of fun. For stamping some accents on the inside, I'm using the Stampers Anonymous stamp that I really love, and I'm actually going to do it upside down just to give it a little bit of flair here. And just stamp it very carefully with the black Memento ink on the inside where my pop-up is going to be, so we're just decorating the inside a little bit to give it some character. I've stamped my sentiment from the same set 3 different times, and I'm going to be cutting and embossing with my ribbon tag trio, again using the removable tape to make sure it stays where I put it. And I don't need to run the whole thing through my wizard, so I'm just cutting out the part that I want here, and I'll use the rest of it for the bottom half of the sentiment that'll go on the inside. We'll cut and emboss this and check this out. Crisp and clean. We're going to mess it up a little bit again with the black ink, and we're going to spread this on a little bit more generously here with the makeup sponge. I love using the makeup sponges to apply ink when you're going for a little bit of a messy look. It can be hard to control, so you have to be careful. Here's the Labels 1 die, and I'm cutting the bottom part of the sentiment out that's going to go in the middle here. And again, we're going to ink it up generously with the makeup sponge. And we'll put this in the middle, set them aside for now, and check out how to do the pop-up portion of the card next here. Okay, here's the really fun part. I previously cut and embossed 4 pendant shapes, 1 for the front and 3 for this inside pop-up that we're going to make. To construct the pop-up, we need to score each pendant down the middle. One of them should be scored so that the insides fold together. The other 2 need to be scored so that the outsides fold together. After scoring them, we're going to attach them so that half of each shape overlaps half of the adjacent one. Place the shape that was scored on the back side in the middle so that it will bend outward, as you see here. And then glue them together on their bottom halves, or the halves overlapping, as you see here. It's a little bit difficult to explain, obviously, but once you have them together, they'll be a little bit like a set of stairs, sort of. You'll be able to see how it's going to bend in the middle, using a little bit of adhesive remover there to clean up my adhesive job. We have a little set of stairs. And you're going to attach the sentiment right on the middle and only on the bottom half, so that when it pops up, it's going to pop up with the rest of the inside and it won't be attached to the top of the middle. You open up your card and line this up with the very middle of your card. The center scoring mark should be lined up with the middle, and put adhesive on the bottom and the top only, so that the rest of it will be free to move and to bend when the card is opened and closed. You want to use a fairly strong adhesive, obviously, because it will have motion to it. You can see how easy that was. Just attach it and you have a very simple, fun pop-up. Cool, huh? Okay, here we're going to do some lightning speed finishing touches here. I'm adding on my faux ribbon, and I am folding it over and attaching it to the back side. I'm going to put my pendant on with some glue dots, or some 3D foam squares rather, and attaching the sentiment there on the front. We're going to also use felt from a company called CPE that has sticky back on it, and it absolutely cuts and embosses beautifully. It's amazing how well it does with these dies. So my pendant center has been cut and embossed, and I'm going to add to it some adhesive backed pearls from Creative Impressions called Bits of Bling. I love these because of the fact that they're sticky already and I don't have to mess with any additional adhesives. We're going to put this on, and I'm also going to use the Floral Accents die to not only cut another piece of felt, but I've printed out a coordinating blue paper that matches the card background, and I'm going to put some floral accents that have been stenciled in out of that as well. Here you can see the other piece of felt that I've done. The felt really cuts beautifully. I can't say how awesome it is, really. It doesn't even quite show it that well on the camera. But we're putting on our finishing touches here, and I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial and that maybe you've seen something new or different, hopefully. It's been fun to make and fun to put together, and I hope to see you back at my site soon to learn something else that's new and cool. Thanks for watching.